Welcome in, everybody. Today we're doing a deep dive into Epic Games. We're talking the whole picture, not just the Fortnite frenzy that everyone knows, but like their place in gaming and even beyond gaming.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah, we got this report and it really breaks down their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, like the whole SWOT analysis.
Oh, wow.
It really paints a picture of a company at a fascinating crossroads. Can they use all their wins to, like, dominate the metaverse, or will they just completely stumble with all these legal battles and fierce competition they're facing?
That's the question.
Let's find out.
So right off the bat, the thing that's so interesting is like how central their Unreal Engine is.
Right.
And I'm not even just talking about for gaming.
Yeah, I know it's used in filmmaking, even like The Mandalorian used it, but how deep does that rabbit hole go?
It's wild. It's really becoming the industry standard. Like, for example, they're streamlining film production workflows.
Okay.
So it makes it way faster and cheaper to create complex scenes. Yeah. And even like architectural visualization. They're leveraging real-time rendering to like create these immersive walkthroughs of buildings before they even lay a single brick. And you can't forget about indie filmmakers.
Right.
This has been like a game changer for them because it gives them access to tools that like only big studios used to be able to use.
So it's democratizing filmmaking, sort of.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, so what about Unreal Engine 5?
Yeah.
I've heard it's got some revolutionary new features.
It absolutely does. Features like nanite.
Yeah.
It allows for crazy detailed 3D models with like billions of polygons.
Really?
Yeah, it basically eliminates polygon limits. So you can have these like photorealistic environments with unparalleled detail.
Interesting.
And then there's Lumen.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
It's like a dynamic global illumination system.
Yeah.
So it simulates how light interacts with the environment in real time.
Wow.
And that creates just absolutely stunning visuals.
So practically speaking, what does that level of detail, that realism, mean for game development and beyond gaming too?
Well, I mean, it means shorter development times, reduced costs, and ultimately more immersive and visually stunning experiences.
Yeah.
Like imagine a game world so detailed that you can see individual blades of grass swaying in the wind.
That's crazy.
And then beyond games, think of the possibilities for like architectural design or product visualization or virtual reality.
That's awesome.
It's going to change things.
It sounds like they're setting a new standard for the whole industry. But isn't all this crazy technology out of reach for smaller developers?
Not necessarily. Their royalty-free model is huge for this.
Yeah.
For developers earning under $1 million, it opens up a ton of possibilities for like indie studios.
So they're not just making this incredible tech, they're making it accessible.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart. It builds a whole ecosystem around Unreal Engine. But we can't talk about Epic Games without talking about Fortnite.
Of course not. Fortnite is more than a game. Like, it's pulling in billions of dollars annually from a free-to-play model.
That's crazy.
It's basically unheard of.
Yeah. Like, I remember when that Travis Scott concert was in Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
Like, millions of people tuned in for that.
It was wild.
They really blurred the lines between gaming and entertainment.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's kind of what's kept them relevant?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, those constant crossovers and live events have been genius.
Yeah.
They've made Fortnite a cultural phenomenon. Like, it's a social platform.
Yeah.
They have over 350 million players globally.
That's a massive audience. So where does the Epic Games Store fit into all of this? Is that another way for them to tap into that community?
Totally. It was a bold move.
Yeah.
Offering developers a larger share of the revenue than places like Steam. It was a way to attract developers. And it kind of plays into this larger goal of having a strong developer community.
Okay. And then there's also their Mega Grants program. I've heard that's a huge deal for people using Unreal Engine. But what's the scope of it?
Mega Grants is incredible. They've committed $100 million to fund projects that are using Unreal Engine. It covers everything from game dev and film production to even scientific research and education.
Wow.
For Epic, it's about fostering innovation and solidifying Unreal's dominance for the long run.
So it's not just about money. It's a strategic investment in the future of the engine.
Yeah.
And behind all of this is Tim Sweeney, a leader who's not afraid to challenge the status quo.
Exactly. His vision and commitment to open platforms has really shaped Epic's identity.
Right.
They're constantly pushing boundaries, experimenting with tech, and advocating for like a more equitable digital landscape.
So it sounds like Epic Games is on a roll. They've got groundbreaking technology, a massive cultural presence, and a leader with a clear vision. But every success story has its challenges, right?
That's just the nature of doing anything ambitious. And Epic is not without its weaknesses. In fact, some of their greatest strengths could also be their biggest weaknesses.
Ooh, that's interesting. Well, let's dig into those potential weaknesses and see how they compare to Epic's triumphs. Okay, so let's flip the script and talk about those downsides.
Okay.
You mentioned some of Epic's strengths could also be weaknesses.
Right.
What did you mean by that?
Well, their reliance on Fortnite,
Okay.
while it's making them bank.
Yeah.
What if it stops being so popular?
Yeah.
Games have a life cycle.
Right.
Even the biggest ones can fall. Think about World of Warcraft.
Right.
It used to be the king of MMOs. But now, its subscriber base is way smaller than it used to be.
Yeah, that's true. So how vulnerable is Epic to Fortnite declining? Are there, like, examples in gaming we can look at?
Definitely. History is full of companies that bet everything on one product.
Yeah.
Like, what about Zynga and Farmville?
Oh, yeah.
They were on top of the world.
Yeah.
But when that game died, they couldn't find another hit.
Yeah.
And Epic has tried to branch out with other games,
Yeah.
like Battle Breakers or Rumbleverse.
Yeah.
But none of them have come close to Fortnite.
Right. It seems like diversification is super important then.
Yeah.
But they've also had some legal issues, right?
Totally. Their legal stuff, especially with Apple and Google, that's a big worry.
Right.
They're basically challenging those app store fees, arguing they're anti-competitive.
Yeah.
These are big battles.
Right.
That could change the whole gaming industry.
It's not just those big tech companies either, right?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about how Fortnite makes money,
Mhm.
especially since younger players are involved.
Exactly. Some people say that their in-game purchases,
Right.
especially for kids,
Yeah.
they say they're predatory.
Yeah.
This has led to lawsuits, investigations,
Yeah.
and that's hurt Epic's rep.
So their way of making money, even though it works,
Right.
it's causing controversy too.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the Epic Game Store?
Yeah.
You mentioned that's how they pull in developers. But haven't some gamers pushed back against it?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Those exclusive deals they make,
Yeah.
it's been a mixed bag.
Right.
Sure, developers like the bigger revenue share,
Yeah.
but gamers feel like they're forced to choose sides.
So they might win over developers, but they could lose players.
Yeah.
And didn't the Epic Game Store also get criticism for how it worked at the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it didn't have features that other platforms did?
It was missing stuff that gamers expected.
Right.
From places like Steam.
Yeah.
Things like achievements,
Yeah.
cloud saves, a good forum for the community.
Right.
And even though they've fixed a lot of that,
Yeah.
that first bad impression stuck with some people.
So we've got a lot here. Over-reliance on Fortnite, legal trouble, the controversy over how they get players to spend money, and a store that not everything's happy with. Anything else to add to this list of weaknesses?
Well, all these big projects they have going,
Yeah.
maintaining Fortnite, building the Unreal Engine, and supporting the Epic Game Store, it all costs a ton of money.
Right.
Their operating costs are huge.
It's like they're playing this high-stakes game of financial Jenga.
Yeah.
They're making billions, but also spending billions.
Right.
But even with these weaknesses, I think there's a lot of potential for Epic to turn things around and maybe even turn these weaknesses into opportunities.
I agree, for sure.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think some of these weaknesses actually create some amazing opportunities for them to grow.
That's what I like to hear, turning lemons into lemonade. So let's dive into those opportunities and see how Epic can turn those vulnerabilities into strengths. Okay, so we've talked about the potential problems, but now those opportunities you mentioned, I'm curious about those.
Yeah.
Where do you see the most potential for Epic to, not just survive, but actually turn those challenges into advantages?
Well, I think one of the most exciting things is Unreal Engine's potential outside of gaming.
Right.
We talked about filmmaking. But that's just the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
Think about car design.
Yeah.
Engineers could use it to see and test their designs in like realistic virtual environments or even architecture.
Yeah.
Clients could do a virtual walkthrough of a building before it's even built.
So it's not just about games looking better.
Right.
It's changing how industries design and create.
Exactly.
What about using Unreal Engine for education?
Oh, yeah.
Could it be like the standard tool for new creators?
Absolutely. Imagine like students learning architecture or filmmaking, even engineering.
Yeah.
all using Unreal Engine.
Right.
They'd have those high-demand skills right out of school.
That makes sense.
So if Epic can make Unreal Engine the go-to for education,
yeah,
they're setting themselves up for years of innovation.
that's smart. It's a really long-term strategy. But, the metaverse is the big thing everyone's talking about right now.
Yeah.
Does Epic have what it takes to be a leader in that space?
Well, Fortnite kind of already has a lot of what makes up a metaverse.
Right.
It's huge. A persistent world.
Yeah.
People can socialize. There are virtual events.
Yeah.
They could easily build on that.
Right.
Make spaces for shopping, learning, working, even.
It's wild to think about what they could do.
Imagine attending a virtual conference.
Yeah.
Or working on a project with your coworkers.
Right.
All inside Fortnite.
That's so crazy. And they're already good at making those live events that people love.
Exactly.
It seems like they're ahead of the game, but there's a lot of competition, right?
Oh, yeah.
Facebook and Microsoft.
Tons of companies want to rule the metaverse.
Yeah.
But Epic has a big advantage.
Okay.
They already have a massive community who love spending time in virtual worlds.
True. And let's not forget about their partnerships.
Oh, yeah.
Those collabs with Marvel and Disney and Fortnite,
Mm-hmm.
they were huge. Imagine that in the metaverse.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It could be really cool.
Totally immersive experiences.
Yeah. So they have the community, the know-how, and the partnerships. But can they break free from being so dependent on Fortnite?
Right.
How do they diversify?
They have to make new, exciting games.
Okay.
Fortnite is a good start,
Yeah.
but they need to make more games with new ideas and gameplay.
Right.
It's risky,
Right.
but the payoff could be huge.
What about the Epic Games Store? Can that compete with Steam?
Well, they need to keep making it better.
Yeah.
Listen to what users want
Right.
and offer stuff that's as good as the competition.
Okay.
They could focus on like a specific kind of game,
Right.
like indie games or a certain genre.
So find their niche.
Yeah, exactly. What makes them stand out?
It seems like Epic has a big plan ahead of them,
Mhm.
using Unreal Engine for more than games, turning Fortnite into a metaverse, making new games, and making the Epic Games Store better.
It's ambitious.
Hey, can they pull it off?
There are no guarantees.
Right.
The gaming and tech worlds are constantly changing.
Yeah.
There are always new challenges popping up.
Yeah, and we can't forget about all the legal stuff
Right.
and the scrutiny over their monetization, the way they get people to spend money.
Yeah, those are big threats.
Yeah.
They could really mess things up.
But if any company can handle all this, I think it's Epic.
I think so too.
They adapt, they're innovative, and they want to empower developers.
Exactly.
So for our listeners today, what's the big takeaway? What should they be looking out for with Epic Games?
Well, Epic is at a turning point.
Okay.
Big challenges,
Yeah.
but huge opportunities.
Yeah.
Can they diversify?
Yeah.
Can they keep innovating?
Right.
And will they stick to their idea of helping developers? That's what will determine their future.
It'll be really interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
Will they dominate the metaverse?
Who knows?
Will they make the next big game?
Only time will tell.
So, listener, that's the question for you. With
Yeah.
everything we talked about today,
Right.
what do you think will happen with Epic Games?
Mm-hmm.
What moves do you think they'll make? What challenges do you see for them?
Let us know.
This has been a wild deep dive into the world of Epic Games.
It has.
I hope you've learned some interesting stuff about their strengths and weaknesses
Mm-hmm.
and gotten excited about the possibilities for the future.
For sure.
The story of Epic Games is definitely not over,
No.
and it's one we'll all be watching closely.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for